My wife, Amber, and I were the perfect couple. At least that's what everyone thought. We met in college, two ambitious souls drawn together by a shared dream of building a life filled with love, laughter, and adventure. We were different, but we complemented each other perfectly, or so I believed. The first crack in our perfect facade appeared subtly. It started with late nights at the office that became more frequent. Then came the hushed phone calls she'd take in another room. The way her phone was suddenly always face down, guarded like a state secret. When I'd ask, she'd just laugh it off. "Oh, Logan, you worry too much. It's just a big campaign at work. You know how demanding it is." So I pushed my doubts aside, telling myself I was being paranoid. But the signs kept piling up. She started mentioning a new colleague, Mark. "Mark is brilliant," she'd say. "He has this incredible energy." At first, it was just professional admiration. Then, his name started popping up in stories about after-work drinks, team dinners, and weekend brainstorming sessions. A cold knot would tighten in my stomach, but I'd just nod and smile, the supportive husband. I didn't want to be the jealous type. I trusted Amber. I had to. The breaking point, the moment my world shattered, came on a Tuesday. I had a terrible migraine and decided to leave work early. I tried calling Amber to let her know I was heading home, but my calls went straight to voicemail. I figured her phone died or she was in a meeting. As I pulled into our driveway, I saw a car I didn't recognize parked just down the street. It was a sleek, expensive sports car, the kind Mark drove, according to a story Amber had told me. My heart started pounding. No answer. My migraine was now a distant throb, replaced by a roaring in my ears. I walked toward our bedroom, and that's when I heard it. A low murmur of voices, and then a sound that will be forever burned into my memory. Amber's laugh. Wasn't her usual joyful laugh. This one was different, intimate, shared with someone else. My hand trembled as I pushed the bedroom door open, and there they were, Amber and Mark. The scene that unfolded before me was every husband's worst nightmare. But what destroyed me, what truly broke me into a million pieces, was her expression when she saw me. A nervous, dismissive laugh, as if I had walked in on a silly prank. Mark just looked annoyed, like I was an inconvenience. I didn't scream. I didn't yell. The quiet was deafening. I slowly backed out of the room, turned around, walked out the front door, and got back in my car. Amber bombarded me with texts and calls. They started as panicked apologies, then shifted to justifications. "It just happened, Logan. It didn't mean anything. We can work through this." But I never responded. Her words were hollow, meaningless. My revenge would be silent, precise, and utterly devastating. Would be, for lack of a better word, deadly to the life she knew. And Amber, for all her marketing savvy, was careless. She lived her life online, building a personal brand of success and perfection. I started by doing what I do best. I gathered information. I didn't have to hack anything illegal. I just had to look. The campaign she was so proud of, the one that got her a recent promotion, wasn't entirely her work. The proof was all there, buried in old server logs and email drafts I had helped her back up years ago. She had forgotten all about them. That was just for her career. What about Mark? I did some digging on him, too. My plan had two phases. Phase 1 was for Mark. I compiled everything I found on him, his online dating profiles, his history with other women, even his addressing to a neat, anonymous package. I sent it to his wife. I didn't include a note. I didn't need to. The evidence spoke for itself. A week later, through the grapevine of mutual acquaintances, I heard Mark had to suddenly relocate back home to deal with a family emergency. His affair with Amber was over. She was devastated, confused why he had ghosted her. Phase 2 was for Amber. This was the masterstroke. I waited for the day of her company's biggest annual conference. She was a keynote speaker, set to present on ethics and authenticity in modern marketing. The irony was sickening. The night before the conference, I sent an anonymous email to the company's CEO, the entire board of directors, and a few key industry journalists I found online. The email was simple. It contained a side-by-side comparison of the original marketing strategy from her former colleague and Amber's award-winning campaign. It included the old emails, the server logs with timestamps, everything. The evidence was irrefutable. Titled the email regarding tomorrow's keynote on authenticity. I didn't go to the conference. I didn't need to. I could picture the scene perfectly. The whispers in the boardroom, the frantic calls, the moment her boss would pull her aside, the public humiliation she would face. She wasn't just fired. She was disgraced. Her name became synonymous with plagiarism and fraud in her industry. The perfect life she had built was annihilated, not with a bang, but with a quiet, undeniable truth sent from an anonymous email address. She tried to contact me one last time. She left a long, rambling voicemail. She was crying. Not the crocodile tears from before, but the gut-wrenching sobs of someone who has truly lost everything. She talked about how sorry she was, how she didn't know what she was thinking, but she never once mentioned the laugh. Even at the end, she didn't understand the one thing that had sealed her fate. I deleted the voicemail without listening to the end. I filed for divorce the next day. I never saw her again. Sometimes people ask me if I feel guilty, if my revenge was too cruel. My answer is always the same. I didn't destroy her life. I just held up a mirror and let her see the person she had become. The laughter had to stop, and all I did was press mute. My new life is quiet, but it's honest, and that's a foundation no one can ever take from me again. I'm so another. Binding Sam so and sen 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 some sen 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 and sen 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 lan and sen 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 when sen when sen 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 sen. If you've been through something similar, know that your strength is in your integrity. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. See you next time.